setting, we're able to do that. So you want the operation to be really smooth. You want everyone to be really clean on their assignments, and you're looking for good fundamental football. I think that's not any different than how we treat practice on a daily basis. I think it would be crazy to say, hey, now that we're in a preseason game or now that we're in a game, this is what's important. No, it's our daily habits. And so it's going to be a lot of the same stuff we look for in practice. Operation obviously becomes a little bit different there. But again, we want all our guys, we talk about detail. We want all our guys playing with outstanding detail, knowing what to do, handling situational football, playing with great fundamentals. We want all our guys to play with extreme effort, and this is some of their guys are going to have a lot of plays here that, that they're not used to having that many plays. So, again, with great effort, great physicality, and great mental toughness to be able to put behind a bad play and go on and play the next play. And so, anytime you step on the field, like, I'm looking to emphasize that in team meetings and in offense and defensive meetings where we can emphasize that so we can continue to show, hey, this is what our standard is. And so this will just be another opportunity for that. And the difference is that it's live to the ground and in a game setting in front of fans, and that's exciting.
Nick, Andy Dalton talked about how not knowing when they were going in between him and Tanner in certain parts of practices was kind of like the real thing in a game.
Say that one more time.
Andy Dalton was talking about how it's kind of like a real game where him and Tanner didn't know when he was going in on a given rep and certain. You have to decide who's going to start on the preseason game, but are there ways that you can kind of continue what you've been doing there in training camp?
You're saying in a game?
In these preseason games?
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't know if that's just for the quarterbacks. There's going to be, DBs that are backing up or have to be ready to play a couple different spots, field corner, boundary corner, nickel, safeties. We got some guys like that too. And offensive linemen in particular have to know, hey, I'm an interior offensive lineman. I got to be ready to snap if called upon. I got to be ready to play guard, or same thing with tackle. Hey, I'm on the left side, I'm on the right side. So all those things, can happen in a game, and we do those things in practice, and those will also come viable in this game on Saturday. What's today? Thursday?
Is that something you want to do with quarterbacks in these games, preseason games?
Again, we'll see how that all plays out of where we are with all that. But we're constantly talking through, who's playing, how many reps everyone's had, who needs this or who needs that, and that's kind of a fluid conversation that started this week on Sunday. And there's been, again, I don't get into it too much because there's constant change through it. Like if I would have told you guys on Monday, I think I had a press conference Monday, hey, here's who's playing. Like it's just so fluid in that. And there's constant little changes going on behind the scenes and with that.
Nick, have you guys this offense historically working in the middle of the field more? Certainly when you throw into that area, you're more prone to throw interceptions. Do you have to alter your kind of expectations for how many turnovers you want out of the position versus the reward of working that part of the field?
Sure. You still we talk about an awful lot. You want to be explosive and you want to take care of the football. My job is to win as many games as we possibly can, not to per se lead the league in total offense. If we lead the league in total offense, great. We're probably playing really good. But my job is to win as many games as we can, and that will always be the goal. And we know that part of that is taking care of the football. And our guys know how to do that and have done a good job of that. And our defense done a good job of getting their hands on some of the balls that are out there. So, no, the focus will always be how do we take care of the football and how do we play with great fundamentals while still being explosive. And so now you're going through progressions of different things and saying, hey, yeah, that looked good. He made the right decision on that one, and it should have went there. And then, and then play it as that. But the standard is, hey, take the right footwork as the quarterback. If go through your progression, go the right place with the football, and that's going to be the standard for quarterbacks throughout time, right? Is did they make the right decision? Did they go the right place with the football? did they make an accurate throw, and that will continue to be the emphasis.
For a lot of the offensive linemen, the young offensive linemen, I mean, how big is it for them to get like preseason game experience on Saturday?
Yeah, I think again we're live up front. Like they're going like at practice. Now the only thing they don't have is when somebody gets they could get rolled up on still if somebody goes to the ground. But the thing they don't have is like the tackle gets rolled up on. So we're getting we've been in pads, however many days we've been in pads as much as we possibly can because we're live up front. And so what better reps to get when, and you've seen that we've done some ones versus twos versus ones. And what better reps to get than against, if you're a young offensive lineman, against Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis and Moro Jomo. And, our ends are doing a really nice job at Nolan and Jalix and AK and AJ, And so we're getting so much of that good work in practice. Again, this is just, I think what happens in preseason games, the way we kind of look at it is just like, hey, now more eyes are on it, right? You guys get to see everything in practice. We get to see everything and then some by rewatching the tape over and over again. But now more people get to see it, and so excited for that opportunity.
In these preseason games,
that the live part, you're live up front. How important is adding in the tackling aspect to evaluate the running game?
Yeah, again, you see when we go through practice how many tackling drills we do, but the tackling drills aren't to the ground. It's getting your body in position, and that's half the battle, right? Of taking the right angles, defeating the blocks, putting yourself in position. But now it's going to have to be, hey, now you got to come away with a body part, and you got to come down with the tackle. And so, yeah, that for those guys, that's different. That's different. Obviously, quarterbacks can get hit now. That's different. And so I would really say, O-line, D-line, they're going full go. Now the D-line's going to have to take the guys to the ground. But that's a great opportunity for us to evaluate how a guy tackles is in this game, because now it's live, and now you can not only see his approach angle, the way he broke down going into it, but now you can see if it's a low tackle, how he approached that. And how did he come away and with getting the guy down, which at the end of the day is so important. And then you see, right, the relentless effort of everybody else, because if we do miss a tackle, our philosophy is, hey, we miss a tackle, we got to have 8 guys there ready to hit that guy and make him pay for breaking that tackle. And so that's going to show up too. But again, we've seen the guys' relentless effort to the football. We preach that. We talk about it. We condition when we show it in team meetings on a daily basis, and so that will be fun to see. But yeah, good point. Great evaluation tool for how guys tackle in a live setting.
What's the biggest battle or two, Nick, that you're looking forward to seeing in a preseason setting?
You know what, Tim? I think I'm just looking forward to all of those things. Just getting back out there in a game day setting. The process that we go through as coaches, the process that they go through as players. To say I want to single this position out, I'm just looking forward to watching all these guys play in a game where it is live. Even though I feel like we get so many good evaluation process here with the caliber of our team and our players, and so I know I'm dancing around your question a little bit, but I really to say, hey, this position over this position, I'm just so excited to see all the guys compete. I mean, at the end of the day, this business is for people that are ultra competitive, because it's how competitive it is, and I look forward to seeing that. It's always good to go against somebody else, and so sometimes in this point of camp you're like, man, we just want to hit somebody else and go against somebody else. And so looking forward to see our guys every position go against another team, and all the things that come with that.
Preseason games, how do you go about wanting Sean to get in a rhythm as a play caller, but also not showing your cards too early?
Yeah, good question. I think I look at it in the sense of anything you don't want to – we got to go through our process, because that's so critical that we're doing that. And, again, we'll have 4 or 5 practices throughout camp and joint practices where we get to practice that, and also training camp – or, pardon me, preseason games where we get to handle that. I think, though, at the end of the day, anything you don't want to put on, anything you don't want people to see, you can't put on tape because everyone's watching, right? I think back to the 2021 season, we put a couple things on tape, and we're like, man, we wish we wouldn't have shown that, and it kind of showed up in a game early on, and that's on my notes constantly to talk about that to the guys, the coaches in particular, throughout the first couple preseason games to highlight back to that. I won't get into specifics of what it was, but to get back into that 2021 season of something that happened there that we're like, man, we wish we wouldn't have put that on tape because the couple of opponents saw that. So, but you got to go practice the things that you've been working on, and what your staples of your offense are, or defense, and so the guys can go out there and operate and go out there and again play with you're not masking it so much where you're like, I'm not running the plays that are our base staples, but go out, because we want these guys to go out there and execute with high fundamentals, knowing what to do, so we can again know what to do, so we can see how you do it and see how their talent shines. So I think, Dave, you can do that. Like the process of it and the communication of it is so critical too. You can do all that while not showing all your cards, if that makes sense. And so that will be our process through this game.
Nick said that Jalen looks faster or running faster. Do the metrics back that up? I guess I know you guys have ways to track that.
Yeah, I think he looks great in every aspect. I think he's when he has to run the ball, he's running it well and looks fast and explosive. When he's passing it, I think he's been so consistent through camp. I just think he's getting better and better and more comfortable as each day goes by. And I love his consistency right now, and I love the way he's playing right now. I'm really excited for him in this season and the things I know that he can do, and I'm just so pleased with how he's attacked everything. And man, I'm really excited for him and pumped for his for this year.
Tuesday's practice development. Can you all play in a game? And if so, do you have a conversation with him just because?
Who did you say?
You are.
Okay.
Like, can he play in a game? And if so, do you have a conversation with him just about the stadium, fans, that aspect of it, because it's so different?
Yeah, he's doing a nice job. Everything's new to him, right? Everything's new to him, and but he's continuing like when everything's new. That's a great feeling to have. It's like, man, he can only get better from some of these things, and and so obviously when everything is new to you, everything's new to you. The game day process will be new to you as well. And so what we want for whether somebody is playing in the game or not playing in the game, we want all our guys to go through the pregame process so their first time going through it's not game one. And so that won't be any different if that's Saquon or Zach Bond or you are. So they're all going to be going through that process. Your job in the process is to go through the same routine every time, so you're not thinking about the magnitude of the game. Kind of like your dribbles on a free throw. You're focusing on that instead of the crowd going wild and all those things when you have to have hyper focus. And that will be his emphasis, and that will be everybody's emphasis on the team.
In Tuesday's practice, you finished with wind sprints. That's not something you usually do. What was behind that?
We feel like just being in great. You can't play with relentless effort, and you can't play with great detail unless you're in phenomenal shape. And so it's just the emphasis. We did some 2-minute drives that day, and the emphasis there was, hey, we were gonna, as we talked in the staff meeting, I said, let's see where we are at that point. Wanted to get a little bit extra work, and you can see how our guys attack that. Like our guys know how critical it is to be in great shape and know how hard you have to push yourself there. We got great guys that lead that, and I think sometimes you could be like, I saw it at my son's football practice last night. They went sprints at the end, and everyone was like, oh. But our guys attacked it like crazy because they know how important that is, and that just speaks to the character of our football team of like, that just speaks to our character of our football team, that it's just like we know how to work. Our guys know how to work extremely hard in the time that we're out here. And, I think that was just another good example of it.
You got 30 seconds.